Most people don't realize the incredible impact their self-talk has on their lives. They go through their days letting that little voice in their head run wild, saying all sorts of things that tear them down instead of building them up. And then they wonder why they're not getting the results they want in life. But here's the thing, your words create your world. What you say to yourself day in and day out shapes your reality more than anything else. It's like planting seeds in a garden. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, negativity, guess what kind of harvest you're going to get? That's right, a life full of limitations and missed opportunities. But if you plant seeds of confidence, possibility, and positivity, well, my friends, you're setting yourself up for a bountiful harvest of success and fulfillment. And that's what we're here to do today, to learn how to plant those seeds of greatness in our minds through the power of positive self-talk. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Jim, this sounds too simple. How can just changing the way I talk to myself really make that big of a difference? Well, let me tell you, it's not just simple, it's profound. And sometimes the most profound truths in life are the simplest ones. Think about it this way. How many times have you talked yourself out of trying something new because that little voice said, you can't do it? How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers because you convinced yourself you weren't good enough, smart enough, or deserving enough? That's the power of negative self-talk. It's like a constant drip of poison into your mind, slowly but surely eroding your confidence in your potential. But here's the good news. If negative self-talk can have such a powerful effect, just imagine what positive self-talk can do. When you start speaking well to yourself consistently for just 3 days, you're going to notice some remarkable changes. Your confidence will start to grow. Your energy will increase. You'll find yourself taking more action, seizing opportunities that you might have let pass by before. And it all starts with a decision to take control of that inner dialogue and make it work for you instead of against you. A decision to become your own best cheerleader, your own source of motivation and encouragement. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Old habits die hard. And if you've been in the habit of negative self-talk for years, it might feel a bit strange at first to start speaking to yourself with kindness and encouragement. But I promise you, it's worth the effort. Think of it like learning a new language. At first, it might feel awkward and unnatural. You might stumble over your words, feel a bit self-conscious, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And before you know it, you're fluent in the language of self-empowerment. So how do we do this? How do we make this shift in our self-talk that can lead to such profound changes in our lives? Well, it starts with awareness. You've got to become conscious of what you're saying to yourself throughout the day. Most of us have gotten so used to our inner chatter that we don't even notice it anymore. It's like background noise, always there but rarely acknowledged. But starting today, I want you to tune in. Listen to what you're saying to yourself. Are you building yourself up or tearing yourself down? Once you become aware of your self-talk, the next step is to challenge it. When you catch yourself saying something negative, stop and ask yourself, is this really true? Is this helping me or hurting me? What would I say to a friend if they were in this situation? You see, most of us are much kinder to others than we are to ourselves. We'll encourage our friends, support them, believe in them. But when it comes to ourselves, we can be our own worst critics. It's time to change that. It's time to become your own best friend. So when you catch yourself in negative self-talk, I want you to pause and reframe it. Turn that negative statement into a positive one. Instead of, I can't do this, try this is challenging, but I'm capable of figuring it out. Instead of, I'm not good enough, say I'm growing and improving every day. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Jim, isn't that just lying to myself? And I understand where you're coming from. But here's the thing, your mind believes what you tell it. So why not tell it something empowering? You're not lying to yourself. You're choosing to focus on the positive aspects of yourself and your situation. You're choosing to see the potential instead of the limitations. And when you do that consistently, you start to unlock capabilities within yourself that you never knew you had. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're faced with a new challenge at work. The old you might have said, I'm not qualified for this. I'm going to melanace it up. But the new you, the you that's practicing positive self-talk, says something like, this is an opportunity for me to learn and grow. I have skills and experiences that I can apply to this situation, and I'm excited to see what I can accomplish. Now, which version of you do you think is more likely to succeed? The one who's already defeated before they begin, or the one who's approaching the challenge with confidence and enthusiasm? The answer is clear. When you speak well to yourself, you set yourself up for success. You prime your mind to look for solutions instead of problems, to see opportunities instead of obstacles. And here's the beautiful thing. This isn't just about achieving external success. Yes, positive self-talk can help you perform better at work, improve your relationships, and achieve your goals. But it goes even deeper than that. When you start speaking well to yourself, you're nurturing your self-esteem. You're building a foundation of self-worth that isn't dependent on external validation or accomplishments. You're learning to value yourself for who you are, not just for what you do. And that, my friends, is priceless. Because when you truly value yourself, when you have that unshakable core of self-worth, you become unstoppable. You're no longer held back by fear of failure or fear of judgment. You're free to pursue your dreams, to take risks, to live life on your own terms. Now, I mentioned earlier that we're focusing on speaking well to yourself for 3 days. Why 3 days? Well, there's something powerful about committing to a short, intense period of change. It's long enough to start seeing results, but short enough that it doesn't feel overwhelming. Think of it as a challenge. For the next 3 days, I want you to commit to being your own biggest supporter. Catch every negative thought, every self-doubt, and turn it around. Speak to yourself with kindness, with encouragement, and with belief in your own potential. It might feel strange at first. You might even feel a bit silly, but stick with it. Because here's what's going to happen by the end of those 3 days. You're going to start noticing changes. Maybe you'll feel more confident. Maybe you'll find yourself taking action on things you've been putting off. Maybe you'll just feel happier, more at peace with yourself. And once you experience those changes, you're not going to want to go back. You'll have tasted the power of positive self-talk, and you'll want more. That's when those 3 days can turn into a lifelong habit, a fundamental shift in how you relate to yourself and to the world around you. Now, let's talk about some practical strategies for making this shift in your self-talk. First and foremost, start your day right. The moment you wake up, before you even get out of bed, say something positive to yourself. It could be as simple as, "Today's going to be a great day," or "I'm grateful for another day to grow and learn." This sets the tone for your entire day. It's like planting that first seed of positivity in the garden of your mind. And as you go through your day, keep watering that seed with more positive self-talk. Another powerful strategy is to use affirmations. These are positive statements that you repeat to yourself regularly. Things like, "I am capable of handling whatever comes my way," or "I am worthy of success and happiness." Now, I know some people are skeptical about affirmations. They might seem cheesy or unrealistic. But here's the thing, affirmations work because they help rewire your brain. When you repeat something often enough, your mind starts to believe it. It becomes part of your subconscious programming. So choose affirmations that resonate with you, that address areas where you want to grow or improve. Write them down, put them somewhere you'll see them often, and repeat them to yourself throughout the day. It might feel awkward at first, but stick with it. The results will surprise you. Another key aspect of speaking well to yourself is learning to celebrate your wins, no matter how small they might seem. Too often we focus on our failures and shortcomings while ignoring our successes. But acknowledging your progress, your efforts, your small victories, that's what builds momentum and motivation. So at the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on what went well. Maybe you made progress on a project at work. Maybe you had a good conversation with a friend. Maybe you just managed to get out of bed on a day when you were feeling down. Whatever it is, acknowledge it. Say to yourself, "I did well today. I'm making progress." This practice does two things. It trains your mind to look for the positive, and it reinforces your belief in your own capabilities. Remember, success breeds success. The more you acknowledge your wins, the more wins you'll have to acknowledge. Now, let's talk about handling setbacks, because they're an inevitable part of life. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to fall back into negative self-talk. But this is where your new habit of positive self-talk becomes crucial. Instead of berating yourself for a mistake or a failure, speak to yourself with compassion. Say something like, "This didn't work out, but that's okay. What can I learn from this?" How can I use this experience to grow? You see, failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, to improve, to become stronger. And when you speak to yourself this way, you're able to bounce back faster, to maintain your motivation, even in the face of challenges. Another powerful aspect of speaking well to yourself is using questions effectively. The questions you ask yourself shape your focus and your actions. So instead of asking disempowering questions like, why does this always happen to me? Or what if I fail? Ask empowering questions. Ask yourself, what's great about this situation? Or how can I use this to my advantage? Or what's the next positive step I can take? These questions direct your mind towards solutions and possibilities rather than problems and limitations. Remember, your mind is like a supercomputer. It will find answers to whatever questions you feed it. So make sure you're asking questions that lead to growth, empowerment, and positive action. Now, as we go through these 3 days of speaking well to ourselves, it's important to be patient and kind with yourself. You might slip up occasionally, falling back into old patterns of negative self-talk. That's okay. It's part of the process. When that happens, don't beat yourself up about it. Simply acknowledge it, correct it, and move on. Say to yourself, I noticed that negative thought. I'm choosing to reframe it in a more positive way. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And speaking of progress, let's talk about the ripple effect that speaking well to yourself can have on your life. You see, when you change the way you talk to yourself, you change the way you feel about yourself. And when you change the way you feel about yourself, you change the way you act. Suddenly, you're showing up differently in the world. You're more confident, more assertive, more open to opportunities. And guess what? The world starts responding to you differently. People pick up on that newfound confidence and positivity. Doors start to open. Opportunities present themselves. It's like a positive feedback loop. The better you speak to yourself, the better you feel. The better you feel, the better you perform. The better you perform, the more success you have. And the more success you have, the easier it becomes to maintain that positive self-talk. But it all starts with you. It starts with that decision to change the conversation you're having with yourself, to become your own source of motivation, encouragement, and support. Now, I want to address something important here. Some of you might be thinking, but Jim, I've had a lot of negative experiences in my life. I've faced real challenges and setbacks. How can I just ignore all that and start talking positively to myself? And I want to be clear, speaking well to yourself doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It's not about living in denial. It's about choosing how you interpret and respond to your experiences. You can acknowledge the challenges you faced while still speaking to yourself with kindness and encouragement. You can say, yes, I've been through tough times, but I'm still here. I'm resilient. I have the strength to overcome obstacles. In fact, your past challenges can become a source of positive self-talk. They're evidence of your resilience, your ability to persevere, your capacity to learn and grow. Use them to build yourself up, not tear yourself down. Remember, your past does not define your future unless you allow it to, and one of the most powerful ways to shape your future is through the words you speak to yourself today. As we move into these 3 days of positive self-talk, I want you to think about the person you want to become. What kind of life do you want to create for yourself? What goals do you want to achieve? What kind of impact do you want to have on the world? Now speak to yourself as if you were already that person. Encourage yourself the way the future version of you would. Believe in yourself the way that accomplished, successful you would believe in yourself. You see, change doesn't happen overnight. But it does happen over time through consistent positive actions. And speaking well to yourself is one of the most powerful actions you can take. It's like laying the foundation for the life you want to build. Think about it this way. Every time you speak positively to yourself, you're making a deposit in your personal growth bank account. Every encouragement, every affirmation, every moment of self-compassion, it all adds up. And over time, those deposits compound, creating a wealth of self-esteem, confidence, and inner strength that you can draw upon whenever you need it. Now, as we wrap up our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next 3 days, I want you to become hyper-aware of your self-talk. Catch every negative thought, every self-doubt, and consciously replace it with something positive. When you look in the mirror in the morning, instead of focusing on what you don't like, find something to compliment yourself on. When you're faced with a challenge at work, instead of thinking, I can't do this, tell yourself, I have the skills and resources to figure this out. When you make a mistake, instead of berating yourself, say, I'm learning and growing every day. This is just part of the process. When you're feeling down, instead of wallowing in negative self-talk, remind yourself of your strengths, your past successes, your inherent worth as a human being. Do this consistently for 3 days. Make it your top priority. Be relentless in your commitment to speaking well to yourself. And at the end of those 3 days, take stock of how you feel. Notice the changes in your mood, your energy, your actions. I promise you, if you truly commit to this, you're going to see changes. You're going to feel different. And once you experience that difference, you're not going to want to go back to your old ways of thinking and speaking to yourself. This is the beginning of a profound transformation. It's the start of a new relationship with yourself, one based on kindness, encouragement, and belief in your own potential. And from that foundation, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Remember, your words create your world. So choose them wisely. Speak to yourself with the same kindness and encouragement you'd offer to a dear friend. Believe in yourself the way you believe in the people you love. Support yourself the way you'd support someone you deeply care about. Because the truth is, you are worthy of that kindness, that belief, that support. You have immense potential within you. You have the power to create the life you desire. And it all starts with how you speak to yourself. So go forth from here with a new commitment to positive self-talk. Let these next 3 days be the beginning of a new chapter in your life. A chapter filled with self-belief, positivity, and unlimited potential. Speak well to yourself, my friends. Your life is about to change in ways you can't even imagine. The power is in your words, in your thoughts, and the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. Make it a great story. Make it a story of growth, of resilience, of success. Make it a story that inspires you to become the very best version of yourself. Remember, you are the author of your life, and it all begins with the words you speak to yourself. So speak well, think well, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. Thank you for your time and attention today. Now go out there and start speaking yourself into the amazing future that's waiting for you.